Uh, Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are friend. And what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? Salve, friend. Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
It's Shaq out back. Hello, Dan. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm a little tired, but other than that, I'm good. We have an exciting episode today. We're talking about an ex-Skyrim mod turned real game tonight. It'll be an exciting time. So this is Shaq Out Back, a book club of sorts. We're going to talk about the Forgotten City this week.
Yep.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jim at Popeye Barkin, the other guy who keeps talking over there. Who's that man over there?
My name is Danny. I'm sure you know. I'm at Dan Sama on Twitter, and our Shaq Out Back official Twitter is at Shaq Out Back Pod. If you want to follow it, it's also linked in both of our Twitters for ease of access for all you viewers.
Yeah, someone follow me because people follow the Shaq Out Back Twitter. They don't follow me, and Dan has like 50 followers, and I have like 15 because I don't use my real name.
Jim doesn't use his real name. He's hidden. He's an enigma. Everyone knows who he is in real life, though.
I'm a man in the shadows. How are you doing this week, Dan? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Jim's tired. Jim was working today. I had my day off in the middle of the week. I got lots done. I'll just get into it. If you are good with that, Jim, I'll just get into what I've been doing the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going to do the bi-weekus breakdown. So you shoot me what you're doing here, Dan. What have you been doing the last 2 weeks?
Okie dokie, Jim. The huge thing, I was tweeting about it on the Shaq Out Back Twitter. We were having fantastic talks about indie games and stuff. It was the Steam Next Fest.
Twas.
And it is probably my favorite event Steam does all year. Like, the sales are one thing. The sales are cool, you buy some shit. But the Next Fest really does feel like a little community event. All the indie studios are talking on Twitter, and they're all doing live events. And especially with the indie game scene, you can really, I was speaking to some of the developers and stuff through Twitter comments and stuff. It was very cool. Good God, there's a lot of games to play. I'll highlight some of the big ones. Jim, did you get around to playing Metal Hellsinger? I should say.
Yeah, I got around to playing Metal Hellsinger. It was very fun, very exciting, kind of rhythm-esque game, but yes. I fucking suck at rhythm games. So
good game.
I think I'll have fun watching you play it, but it was awesome.
Yeah, some of the other ones me and Jim played. Jim got a chance to play Super Police Fashion Force or whatever the hell that game's called.
Fashion Police Squad?
Fashion Police Squad, that game.
That was a damn fun game. Yeah. Damn fun game.
I'm very excited for the full release. I like how everything comes together. It's kind of a boomer shootery-esque game with fashion, and it's got a cool spin on stuff. It's got a very neat style.
You make people fabulous instead of killing them.
Yeah, you fix up their duds and stuff. But yeah, I played a ton of demos, way too many to go over. Just go on the Twitter if you don't want to run down.
Oh, I want to talk about Angerfoot. Angerfoot was great.
Yes, Angerfoot. Angerfoot is it's the first ever first-person foot-kicking game. It's very good. I think it will be perfect if it's around 4 to 5 hours long, which I think it will be. You think it'll be shorter?
Probably like 3 hours.
You think so?
Yeah.
It'll be nice. It'll be a nice game. I don't know the price bracket it's going for, but really good soundtrack. Soundtrack is actually really good in that game.
Who's making that? Is 3D Realms making that?
I'm not comfortable enough to say. I think it might be, because I know there was a game I played by 3D Realms, and you said, 3D Realms, eh? Yeah.
I said 3D Realms, the studio that just is using 3D Realms' name to make games because me and Dan didn't like Graven.
They're shambling around a corpse. But yeah, some of my favorite stuff, I played Cult of the Lamb God, or whatever that little Devolver Digital published thing is. Devolver Digital gets all the spotlight because they're the big name everyone recognizes, but the dude who made that looks very promising, and it was a crazy fun game. Terra Nil was very cool. I think that was another Devolver published game where you're reverse engineering a landscape to make it green again, almost like a city builder, but what you're building is like nature, and then the final steps of each game are like taking away all your machines to make a biodegradable like balloon to fly away on. Very cool concept.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, Jim, I'm actually down. Keep talking. Talk about your stuff. My last 2 weeks have just been demos and stuff. It's been just.
I just wanted to talk about that. The people making Angerfoot are called. It wasn't 3D Realms. It's called 3 Lives. The same people who made Gorn and Genital Jousting and
that
Broforce.
Makes sense. It had a Gorn. Yeah, that totally makes sense. It really does have a little Gorn feel. Gorn's a very cool game if you've never played it.
Are you telling me you haven't done anything? You fucking built a PC. You did 100 things.
I got a new PC case. I got a Fractal blah 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 torrent. The Fractal torrent. I had a Define C. It's a compact case, and it wasn't getting the best temps. There's nothing wrong with it. I just like to do stuff like this.
You know, me and Dan made our PCs together, and mine worked perfectly, and Dan was always frustrated with something or other that was going on with his computer for like 2 years.
Yeah, but now it's perfect. Jim makes fun of me. I tweak all the fan curves, and I have everything set to go up and down and up and around and flip and do all the cool stuff. But yeah, it's extremely nice. It's sitting beside me. It's definitely a bigger case, but it's one of those like forever cases. It's got insanely good airflow, lots of room to move around inside of it.
Lots of room for activities.
Yeah, lots of room to put my little Funko Pops holding up my GPU and stuff. But Jim, tell me what you've been doing the last 2 weeks.
I think I talked about my old list. I think I talked about Russian Doll last week. I watched the second season of Russian Doll, which is excellent. We're going to have to do that for Shack Out Back. I watched the new season of Peaky Blinders, which was also excellent. I love me some Peaky Blinders. Can't wait for the movie to come out.
Is that like a Netflix releasing movie?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm reading a new book at work during my breaks and stuff. It's called Moving On by old Larry McMurtry, the same guy who wrote the cowboy books I was reading before. So I also watched some movies with people. I watched Hard Boiled with my friend John, which is an amazing Hong Kong action movie made by John Woo. And it's one of the best fucking action movies I've ever seen. That's where they invented gun fu, Dan. Guns akimbo, jumping over things and glass exploding. Have you ever seen Hard Boiled?
I never have. My dad, that's probably one of the movies every time I go over, my dad says, "Hey Dan, you seen Hard Boiled?" And I say, "Nope."
Well, Joe Markle is right on this one. I watched Monster with Jaden yesterday.
What is that? You said it was vile, and the only monster I know is the manga. What's the monster you're talking about?
Monster stars Charlize Theron and the lady who played Wednesday Addams. I'm like Christina Ricci, and it's about the first like high profile serial killer who is a woman in America. It's about she was a prostitute who killed people.
Huh. You don't really see many of those movies about the feminine touch of killing. You always see them about dudes.
Truly, it's a movie that like it hits me right in my anxiety zone as I watch it. So I think I watched it like 5 years ago and I forgot. So I watched it again and I was like, and my stomach hurt the whole time watching it.
Really? I'll have to give it a check.
Jaden also, I watched with Jaden a stupid movie called Megan is Missing, which is big on TikTok right now.
Woo! The epitome of success.
It's a movie that came out in 2011. It's like a found footage-esque movie, but it's not... Okay, so the whole thing of this movie is like, it's about two girls who get abducted. Okay. But the first hour of the film is like really stupid and bad. Like it's just like a woman badly acting in front of a DVR camera, just saying like, I get this teddy bear because I like it. But then it has like, so these women, they're girls, they're like 14. They get abducted girls. They get abducted by like a sexual predator, okay. And then they in the movie there's like this whole movie's been shit, and it's like a cut to black and like this is some graphic pictures, and then they were actually like really really fucked up pictures that I was not expecting to see in that movie, and the last bit of the movie is horrific. Yeah, like I'd say that if you're interested in this after me describing it, probably look up what happens in the movie before you watch it so you can skip to those parts if you have an avid interest in horrible shit. But yeah, I was definitely like...
I would say if you're listening to us and want to expressly skip to those parts, I would say please don't listen to us.
It did seem like weird fetish bait. Yeah, it's kind of gross. And then I watched Touch of Evil, which is an Orson Welles movie, and it was also gross in a different way, but it was a very good movie.
That sounds Jim.
That's what I've been up to the last few weeks, just listening to music and getting accustomed to working and all that good stuff. So
that's all good. I've been having a nice time in my life. It's pretty hot where we are right now. The last couple days have been disgustingly hot. I've been closing the blinds right when I wake up and keeping them closed all day. Come home to a nice, cool abode. But if you're ready, I want to get into it. I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this stuff.
So this week it was Jim pick, so it was something fucking cerebral, I guess. It was about the Forgotten City, which
was a good pick.
It was once a Skyrim mod, but the guys who made it quit their jobs as lawyers and whatnot, and got a developed skills together and made an Unreal 4 engine version of the game and changed
Super
everything
cool.
around completely.
Yeah,
it's a game about you get blasted back into the past in some sort of hellish purgatory, and you have to figure out what's going on. I loved it.
Yeah. I would say I don't play many games like this. Like, there's not many games like this exactly that kind of scratch the same itch. Mm-hmm. And it strikes me as one of those things I had on my wish list or would have had on my wish list for a long time, and I've always saw it go on sale and stuff, but never really pulled the trigger to buy it.
It's one of those cool games you hear about. It's one of those cool games you hear about, and then you're like, oh, I'll get that someday, and then you never get it.
Yeah, and then I never get it. I believe Jacob Geller made a video on the Forgotten City.
He did indeed. So did Super Bunny Hop and other people that I like.
I probably watched them all. I actually didn't know what I was expecting going into this, though. I knew generally what it was about, but I didn't really know to what extent. I didn't think there was any combat in it or anything like that. I thought it was a little puzzly thing, but it was a time loop game.
Yeah. It was a Groundhog-esque, you gotta figure shit out to stop the time loop game.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a little bit of like the base outline plot of the game before we start talking about specifics? So who are you in this game? What has happened? What do you have to do?
You're a random unnamed protagonist. You name yourself, whatever. And you pretty much wake up on a riverbank, stumble across some ruins, go into a weird portal, and then you're in... I would get the two confused. What is it? You're in, like, an old Roman, or is it Greek?
Bro, it's everything.
I know, it's everything. But the main stuff, you're talking to, like, Roman people.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, there's this one rule in the city that if anyone sins, we all die and get turned to golden statues. And there's a bunch of statues already around, which is like, so this has already happened. But the main thing is there's an election coming up, and it's really cool, because at the start... I was really confused. I really didn't know my way around the town or what people's names are or what people's doing. And by like my third or fourth or fifth loop through everything, I really started to get a sense of like, this person's here at this time, they're moving around here, this is what's going on in this part of the town right now. I need to go here first, then here to talk to these people. And you really get a sense of it. Like, it's very interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of mysteries and a lot of little side things you can do to like help everyone at once. Your main objective is just to get out of the loop and go back to your real world. There's like 4 different endings. There's a lot of different ways to play it out.
I would say that if you have an interest in this game from that description that Dan graciously gave, I think you should play it for yourself.
Yeah, we're going to spoil everything.
We're going to spoil everything.
Yeah.
So I would really recommend you guys play and experience this game for yourself before we talk about it. But on to the specifics of the game. I think that this game does a good job of giving you a bunch of little like leads at the beginning. I know there's a quest log too, but I didn't really follow it. This game borrows very, very heavily from the Elder Scrolls sort of setup of things. Like the combat kind of feels the same.
Oh, you can tell it's a Skyrim mod game made into a real game. All the characters do that like zoom in on their face and slowly turn. Yeah, you can tell. You can definitely tell.
The log looks the same. The kind of quest objective and marker thing is the same as Skyrim.
Right, actually.
Yeah. Right. But the way it differentiates itself greatly is that it feels to me, because I've talked about it before, and I read this in either the Wikipedia page or something, that the guy who made this game got inspired by New Vegas mods, including the ones that I like,
that, I believe,
called New Vegas Bounties. And there's not really a lot of choices in New Vegas Bounties, but all those mods around Skyrim and Fallout that are good, in my opinion, are those quest mods that give you a lot of like choices and a lot of like ways to go back and do things differently. And that's truly the essence of this game here. Like the focus really isn't the specific things that are going on. It's how everything cohesively comes together to create an experience that really sticks in your head.
Yeah, I do think this will be one of those games in a couple years I still do remember quite vaguely and quite fondly. 'Cause as I said, there's not really many games that do the whole time loop thing well, because it's I can understand how it would be an easy thing to pad out your game if you just make shit unavoidable and you just have to continuously replay it. Like, the one game that really strikes me when I think of a time loop game, and I still don't know how Jim hasn't played it yet, because it baffles my fucking mind.
Outer Wilds?
The Outer Wilds. Holy shit, Jim, the Steam sale starts tomorrow. Maybe I'll be buying you that. The Outer Wilds is so good.
I do definitely have to play it. I think the only time loop game that I've played and finished is Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
and that's I probably beat that like 10 years ago, and that one definitely had a lot of like, you gotta waste a whole lot of fucking time to get things done, and this game did not do it.
I felt like I needed more time. Some loops I was like, let me keep talking to these people, and then it's like, the election's starting, and I'm like, god damn it.
I actually, when I was doing the game, I actually, I never got to the point where the election started on its own. I always had to start it, yeah. And I got to the point where, like, I thought that I'd have to do things. Like, there's a part where you have to save this lady from poisoning herself and dying. So you have to, like, steal the... So I was going through the game. I figured basically everything out in the first two loops.
Jim, I saw your achievements, and I was like, Jim's a fucking genius. I'm over here stumbling around. I'm on my 6th loop. I was like, Jim's a genius.
I figured out that Sentius was evil in my second loop. So I was talking to everybody, and I was talking to the lady who is tending to people, whose name is Lucretia, I think her name is. Yep. I don't know how to say it. And she was like, I need this. And then I went up to the dickhead Decius, who needs to sell things. She's like, I'm not going to say this. Okay. I said, okay. When something bad happens, and for me, the first loop, it was when the assassin came out, and then
you got that your first one. That was like my third one.
I was like, okay, let me steal that thing as soon as they say, you've broken the law. So I stole the thing. But then I thought I had to keep stealing it, because at the beginning I'd give it to Galerius and I'd be like, okay, I have to steal another one. I never checked my inventory.
Oh yeah, I did that a couple times. And I had like 4 things of hemlock, and I was like, oh, interesting. Infinite hemlock.
Yeah. This game definitely was smarter than me. I didn't give this game enough credit, where I thought I was going to have to do that every fucking time I went through. So I'm glad that they did things like that. Even though it doesn't make total narrative sense, I'm glad that for the sake of convenience, that it did it like that. Yeah, I think my first loop, I talked to everybody and I figured some things out, and then I went and the archer shot me. Yes. And that's what started the thing.
I think that was my first character dying loop, yeah.
And then my second loop, I was like, okay, let me check out what's in the palace. And I got through the palace, and I saw all the zombies and stuff. And I got through there, finished the thing when the god told me that when Persephone told me, like, yo, you gotta talk this woman down. I talked her down, and then I was able to get the golden bow and do all that stuff. And then I went up to Sentius, and I was like, you're like, and I found his daughter, and I was like, you're really like not cool, right? He's like, oh yeah, you figured it out? Yeah, I'm not fucking cool. You're gonna stay here forever until you fucking kill yourself. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I was not expecting him to be bad. I did the dumb thing. I was really expecting, well, there's a lot of bad people in this world, but I was really expecting it to be either Malleolus, who does the, super bad thing. Did you ever get looped on? Yeah, so if I wasn't, let me just preface this. If I wasn't completely clear, whenever anyone does any sin, stealing, like, overtly, like, killing someone, even, like what I said, stealing, the smallest little thing, everyone's dead, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, did you ever get dually loop?
Okay, this is the thing, right? Is that when you're doing this election, right? And the way you can influence the election is you can get this information on Malleolus, or whatever the hell his name is, because he's a bad guy, and you can be like, yeah, I know you were doing something bad in Rome, so he'll drop out. And if he drops out, and there's no one who gets elected, and Sentius wins, Malleolus
even see that, yeah.
Malleolus will come with the gladiator, and the gladiator will threat to get in a fight with Sentius, and then it'll say, you've broken the law, and everything will happen again.
Okay.
If Galerius, is that his name? The Mr. Clean Man?
The guy that always greets you and he says, "Salve,
Galerius.
friend." Yeah.
So you give Galerius all this stuff. So basically you can figure out how to save everyone in these different loops. And then at the beginning of the loop, you always talk to Galerius first.
It's a smart setup. It's a very smart setup having him right there and he's like your messenger boy. And then everyone thinks he's a genius.
You can be like, Galerius, okay, you give this to this woman to save her. You tell the archer to go in the thing, it'll collapse on him. You tell this to him. And then if you get everyone to like Galerius and he wins the election, everyone's like, yeah, Galerius won, la la la. And then you're trying to get inside Dooley's cage, because Dooley is a guy who's mentally challenged.
Oh my god, don't even get me on it.
Locked into a cage so he wouldn't steal things, and the plaque's in there. So Galerius is like, yep, look, Dooley free, get him some clothes or whatever, and Dooley comes out and you get the plaque, and immediately Dooley steals something and the loop starts again. And that was such a smart fucking thing to do, and I thought that it was going to happen.
That was so fucking funny to me. The gate opened and I was like walking up, I got the plaque and I was kind of reading it, and the subtitles were still going on, and I was looking at it and it was like, a piece of treasure. This one's shiny. I could see it for myself, and I was like, Dooley, no! Oh my god.
It has amazing little touches in that game. Every person in this game has a relationship to one another.
Yes, they do. Everyone's interconnected and weaved together. There's no one really off alone. There's only like one dude that you really just learn about randomly.
Like Rufius is threatening Virgil, I think.
Yes, the guard is threatening the homosexual dude that's in the plaza.
Yeah, Rufius is threatening him because he thinks homosexuality is a sin.
Yeah.
And if you go and you like cure his root canal, whatever the fuck it was, his chronic pain.
He has
rheumatism.
Rheumatism, that's it.
You can be like, yo, just stop messing with him, and he's like, okay. But like every one of these characters has an opinion on one another.
Yes.
And they'll say it. You can find notes. That's a very Skyrim Fallout thing, is you can find notes around where they're saying like, this person's a fucking piece of shit, and you can like figure shit out. Especially with Malleolus's wife. Malleolus's wife.
Malleolus's wife, Claudia.
Yeah, I like that part where you can sneak into her room and you can be like, I think she has some kind of information about Malleolus, and you need it, so you can say like, she's like, okay, get this investigation together and do this, and you're like, okay, and you come back with the information, and she's like, actually, don't use this information, it's too bad, I don't want to do this, okay. And you're
literally.
like, well, now I know that, so fuck you, and you just kind of leave. That's the only time I ever saw her in the game, is in that fucking closet that her husband's locked her in.
She's in her closet and she's crying, and she's helping you kind of, and then you're like, oh wow, thanks, this will get him to drop out of the election, and she's like, okay, come on, I don't like the guy, but that's a little bit too far.
And you're like, get fucked. But this game also doesn't shy away from like horrible shit happening.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
The Navia, the city's medic who's gone like missing.
Oh yeah, Navia, the girl in the palace.
She's fallen in love with one of the statues, and she's experimenting in all the statues. And because of the golden rule not affecting statues, she's basically like torturing them horribly. And she doesn't have any repercussions from it, because she's trying to figure out how to get someone out of the golden statue and still retain their sanity. So all the zombies in this game are basically people driven insane by being in so much pain that their skin is exposed.
Yeah, that was fucked to me. Like, all these golden statues are around, and you're obviously just like, okay, they're golden statues. But then you find out that under like 3 or 4 inches of gold, there's still just people under there, and they have their senses and stuff. So she was like chipping away at all the statues in her weird palace. And yeah, they're going insane because now their open skin is like in the air and stuff. It's really creepy and weird.
It's a good way to have combat in this game. That it's also
just
really
enough. It doesn't overstay
story.
its welcome.
Yeah. I feel like I watched a couple of videos where people were bitching about the combat and stuff, but the way that the combat works is that like you can.
It's the easiest thing in the world. It's so unobtrusive. It's not like you're doing it for 5 hours and stuff.
It's kind of like BioShock as well, where BioShock gives you a lot of environmental things to use on the splicers.
Yeah.
And you also get a lot of environmental stuff to like corral.
You can trap them, and you can shoot the algae on top of the water and stuff. Yeah, it's not like I'm a horde zombie killer. I'm killing fucking 20 statues at once and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't like Dan was doming people when we were playing the forest. It wasn't like that.
Oh, sometimes I think about the forest, just briefly. Just briefly, it flickers through my mind, and then it leaves. And then I see the forest, Sons of the Forest gameplay trailer, and I says, that does not look fun.
What were some of your favorite portions of this game, Dan?
Me? What sticks out to me? I don't want to talk about the ending yet, but the ending really, really made me happy. I liked walking around and stuff.
We'll save the ending for the end.
We'll save the ending for the end of the video. I liked meeting Dooley. He was a very pure soul, and I very fondly remember when Dooley fucking killed everyone by stealing a little coin on the ground. Did you have a certain thing you did to restart the loop if you wanted? Because I did, and I'll tell you what mine was.
I would probably, just steal something quickly, or I'd go to the market and steal the, antidote that I thought I needed. What would you do? Did you shoot, Decius in the head or something?
I would go up to Malleolus's room where his wife is and steal his 3,000 denarii, and it would restart the loop. I did that 3 times. I had a lot of money.
I never spent any money in that game.
I think I spent $1,000 on... No, I bought some gossip, and I spent $1,000 to get the hemlock from that dickhead shopkeeper.
Oh yeah,
woman. She's a horrible woman.
And you spent $1,000 to get the secret entrance out of the Forgotten City, which is you drink hemlock and kill yourself.
A lot of characters in this game are not good people, and they're not horrendous. They're just conniving, and they will do whatever they need to. She was the shopkeeper woman, and she was just a horrible dickhead the whole time you spoke with her. She hit on you once, and then she'd be disgusted by you, and then she would overcharge you for basically telling you to go kill yourself. And then that doesn't break the golden rule, because technically she didn't say what it was. That's the way to get out of the city. Just a dickhead.
Just a fucking asshole.
But, yeah, I wish there was more to the cisterns. I thought it would be a little more cave divey and around that stuff.
I did the whole palace thing because I wanted to get the weapon I needed and the information I needed before I went down there.
Yeah, I went to the palace first as well.
And then I shot the one zombie that was down there and climbed the thing, right? And then Cynthia was there.
Yeah.
Do you want to start talking about the endings now?
Yeah, we can go into it. So yeah, like I mentioned, there's 4 different endings. They kind of range from easiest to you gotta work a little bit.
Worst to best,
yeah,
I would
pretty
say.
much. Because number 4 is the canon ending, right?
Yeah, the canon ending, let's go in descending order. So the canon ending needs a little bit of a background. So the Forgotten City is a structure in space that was made by the various gods of the underworld. So the Forgotten City was first inhabited by Mesopotamians, and Sumerians, Mesopotamians, Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, and they've all kind of called the same god of the underworld. He's known by many different names, like Hades and
Nurgle, Hades, Pluto, yeah.
And he is an alien who has been...
pretty much that's what the gods were, right? They were kind of alien-y almost. It was weird.
Yeah, I think that the Forgotten City also borrowed very heavily from Star Trek. Because I
could see that.
I think in Star Trek lore, the Greek gods or some kind of gods, the Norse gods, were aliens. And they also have an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, the first season, where that has the golden rule, where if Wesley Crusher falls through a fucking greenhouse and try to put him to death. Very more stupid than it was in
That'd be interesting to know if that was a kind of point of relation to it, to that Star Trek episode. That's interesting.
I think that it's a very... I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. It's a very readily available... I'm not going to say that. I think that this is a good idea to have a moral quandary kind of story about, and that's why it's been used so much, because really let's talk about the endings, then we'll talk about themes. So he's been testing humanity, and he also has his wife that he's trying to keep the regular Hades story, Persephone or Prospernia or whatever the hell her name is. Yeah, and she's trying to help people out of the sort of loop, the death loop of the Forgotten City, and she's the one whose voice you're hearing throughout the entire game. And she kind of guides you to Hades' throne, and then you kind of outwit him, and you say you're going to kill his wife and do a bunch of stuff, and you kind of outwit him because in the future, where you come from, like he's already left. Like the Forgotten City's like a big like rusted like left off thing like in space. Like it's not functioning anymore. And you have been thrown back in time because you're at an event where you found like an ancient coin that took you back to the afterlife, basically. And so you convince him that this is all fucked and it's stupid and you're gonna win anyway. So he's just like, fuck, and then he lets you all free. And
that's what you did, eh? I did something completely different.
Did you? Well, this is everyone lives their own special life. And they all get to be happy, and that's the canon ending. And the cringy, the kind of cringy and very happy scene is that all the golden statues as well have come
they
back
all
to
clap.
life.
They say congratulations. That killed me.
I threatened him. I killed Persephone and took her helmet and ran back through the thing to the time loop, and then I came back with her head basically, and I was like, "Fuck you, let us out," and then he let us out.
So, was she in your ending scene at the museum?
Yeah.
She was, okay. That's not what I did at all. Yeah, so you learn that the Forgotten City is essentially Underworld, this little test in Underworld almost, or I guess it is Underworld, because Charon says that there's not really an Underworld anymore, technically.
No, there was never. It was just this. Like,
it's just
the afterlife doesn't exist.
So yeah, it started with the Sumerian people, and then they're all their gods and stuff, and then the Egyptians came and they built upon the Sumerian stuff, and then the Greek people came and built on the Egyptian stuff. And it's like, it was really cool. There's a part in the game where you kind of find a cave, go down, find a city, find a cave, go down, find a city, and it happens 2 times, and it's like really weird and creepy. Like you're just traveling back in time, seeing all this stuff.
You meet a Roman guy in the basement, and the Roman guy is like, "I'm not going to tell you my name because I think he's forgot about me."
Yeah,
I'm just hiding down here.
I'm hiding down here. I'm okay.
I'm okay. I've been down here like fucking 100 years, and I'm just going to keep on chilling. And then you meet a Egyptian fella too. I don't think he was from the original like group of Egyptian people who were there. I think
he was from the most recent group because they know him.
But he found the Egyptian ruins, and he was just protecting them and stuff. And he was really upset, too. And I like the storyline, too. Because he was upset that the Egyptians were fucking fooled, and he didn't want to admit it to himself. That,
he's like, are all of my gods just not real because they were built upon by Sumerian gods? And I was like, no, man, it's okay. You can build upon other people's civilizations. They're all known by many names, right? And he's like, I see. Okay.
Dan was a nice guy. I think that I also convinced him to just be cool as well. But
yeah, I was saying, okay, so Pluto, right, or Hades, god of the underworld, whatever you want to say. I did not do that at all. I talked to him, and he was like, blah, 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 it's useless. And I was like, how about I beat you in a wits of wager or whatever? And I talked to him, and I was like, well, isn't this kind of inherently, like, broken because you took on a human form and now you have human emotions? And he's like, blah, 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 I don't see it like that. And I was like, isn't that also human now that you have a differing of opinion than me? And we talked for, like, 10 minutes, and eventually he was like, I suppose you're kind of right then. And it was really cool. Like, I didn't do anything bad to him. He was just like, man, maybe you're right. I am kind of lame.
I feel like when I'm in a... I feel like I always try to choose the moral choices in video games. I'm that kind of guy who like,
cuts off people's heads and come back.
First playthrough of the game, I'm like, oh yeah, this will be fine, whatever. But because it's a time loop game, I couldn't convince him, and Persephone was like, kill me, and I was like, okay. So I shot her in the head, took her crown, and then I did the time loop again, and I came back, and she was still there with her crown on. But I pulled the other crown out, and I was like, listen, bro, we already did this, and we can keep doing this however long you fucking want. And he was
That's
like,
interesting.
Oh, no.
That's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 4th ending, that's the best one.
The other endings are like so everyone also in the 4th ending and the Canon ending, everyone also gets, you and the guy you went in after and all the people in the Forgotten City get thrust back to the future.
Besides Sentius.
Yeah, Sentius gets to stay there forever because he's a prick. Everyone like kind of self-actualizes. Like Rufus accepts himself as a gay man and starts living with the guy he was
cool.
picking
You see everyone in like modern day shit, and it was so cool, like walking around talking to them. And yeah, Rufus is like, yeah, I kind of hated gay people because I'm gay. And I was like, obviously you are.
Everyone has happy in that ending, but ending 2 and 3 is kind of like the mercenary ending.
Like melancholic almost. Yeah. Some people are happy. Most people are kind of not that happy.
you find Scintilla in the cistern, and then she's able to lure her dad down, Sentius, to kill him, and that creates the time loop. But because she's in an area where she can get out, some of them still escape into their time, like in Roman time. So it's either like you don't tell anybody and she just escapes, or you tell like
it's like
Mr.
quite a few people escape.
Yeah, you tell like Mr. Clean to grab a bunch of people, Galerius grab a bunch of people, and they go. And not everyone leaves, but a lot of them do.
Lots
like
of them do.
Dooley dies, and some other people die, but a lot of them get out. And then my favorite ending, because
oh my god, yeah,
this is my favorite ending, is Sentius warns you that at the beginning that you will create a time loop and destroy everything if you kill him, because he's the one who creates the time portal to send you back so you can do the loops again. So my favorite ending is I did it just to see one time, and I was like, okay, that ending was funny. But when
me too.
When I wanted to get some achievements, there's achievement for like you skip the tour and you get you find an ending in like under 20 minutes. So I picked the background that gave you a gun, and I just zooped through the game.
God.
I walked up to him, shot him in the head, and then you immediately get sucked back in the future, but you're trapped in the Forgotten City with Al still, and it's a Postal reference. You just say, I regret nothing, and the game ends.
Yeah, Al's like, hey, there's this little tablet saying, like, a dude named you killed this guy, and you're like, yeah, that was me. We're trapped here! Yeah, I don't care. And then the credits roll.
You hit the postal button to put the grenade in your mouth, and you say, I regret nothing, and your head explodes.
I love when games let you do stupid shit like that. And that was the ending. That was one of the endings. You could have walked away and said, well, that's the ending I want to get. God, I hope you didn't, but you could have been like, yeah, that's the ending. I'm happy with that.
That was me. I did my fun playthrough where I saved everybody and everything was good, and I started a new game and shot that guy in the head, trapped everyone forever, and I was like, okay, uninstall the game. I'm done.
Oh my god.
That reminds me of my favorite ending of Fallout New Vegas, where you know the endings of Fallout New Vegas, where you go to the war and you help one side win over the other in a struggle, and either the Legion or the NCR or Mr. House or yourself take over the area, right?
Yeah. Is this the robot ending?
No, this is the ending there's a next DLC called Dead Money, where you go to this casino and there's a big like evil like gaseous cloud around the casino that kills everything, and there's holograms that can kill people, and you can't kill the holograms, and you can just align yourself with the evil antagonist of that DLC, and you can get an ending where you literally, it just says like a cloud was unleashed across the Mojave wasteland and killed fucking everybody, and you can see holograms in the dark of the night if you look close enough, and then the game ends.
That is horrendous, I gotta be honest.
That's great. I love endings like that. I
like games where they allow you to be truly evil, not Fallout 4 evil when you say, I don't care about you. Anyways, what can I do to help? I want a game to let me be fucking evil.
Sarcastic.
Let me make a bad choice if I want to be a dickhead, and let people react to it and bar me from certain things of the game. I get it's a hard line to kind of walk, because you can't, unless you really do want to be able to soft lock players, which is a very old-timey and very niche indie game thing. Lots of games, they don't really want to soft lock you, because lots of people will get annoyed and be like, well, I don't want to do that again.
Well, going back into the DNA of this game, right? Like Elder Scrolls games, like and Bethesda games in general, you can do some evil shit.
You can do some fucked up shit in Skyrim too, yeah.
Well, not Skyrim or Fallout 4 as much. I think they're softening more and more as the games go on. But you can do evil shit in Fallout 3. You can align yourself with the bad guys in Oblivion and fucking just ruin the ending of the game. Same thing with Morrowind. You can just kill all the major characters of the story, and you get a message that says like this land is doomed to destruction now. You can continue playing if you want, but no, you will never get the ending of this game. And I like that. I like it too. It's memorable. I like the choice to be evil. That's why I didn't like Fallout 4, is that you were evil. You were either like, I'm going to help everybody, or I'm going to help everybody, but I'm going to be a bad guy about it.
Yeah. Jim, I will be honest, my cat will meow in like 30 seconds. Put meowing over my track right now. I'll be back in like a couple minutes, okay? You can just cut all this out and then merge it together.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to say while Dan was gone too is that the world building of this game too is amazing, and it really says a lot that the area of the game feels very insulated. Like everyone, you can walk to everybody's house and whatever. But if you actually take the time to like look beyond the borders of like the walkways and stuff, you're like in a huge fucking abyss of like chasms and cliff sides and stuff, and it's really like disquieting to actually look across like the world space and see that like they really are on the precipice of oblivion in this game the entire time as well. And it really undercuts some of these like jovial, like, I'm not going to think about it too much characters who just deny that they're in this prison basically of not having a free choice or free will.
Jim's talking about theoretical things. My cat's not meowing. It's okay.
I wanted to talk about the main theme of this game if we're finished with the endings, Dan.
Sure.
And the main theme is really about free will and choice.
Yeah.
And
yeah, lots of the dialogue options always reference, you know, what choices you are. Do they actually matter? Are you doing stuff that matters? Yeah.
And I think that this is my own personal philosophy and my adaptation of the game and stuff, but I don't really think that there is any point to life except for the meaning that you give it. So I think that influences my view on this game too. And you can really see that when you find the true, like when you walk through the temple of whatever and you see that this is a big fucking spaceship and a big lie. You can really tell that like the quote unquote golden rule is just based on the god of the underworld's perception. Like,
yeah, it's based
like
on whatever the fuck he wants it to be based on.
It's just a human being who just is also fallible, choosing what's right and what's wrong. And that's why every fucking character in the game was able to get around these moral sort of rules because they were able to loophole it. Like, there is no absolute truth in this game.
It's whatever you want it to be. Like, as we already said, you got the ending where you said, hey, buddy, look, I cut your head off. And I got the ending where I said, I put on my fedora and my thinking goggles, and I said, let me have a discussion with you, sir.
And I think that I think that this game, and the true ending too, the ending 4, is that everyone self-actualizes and asks themselves what they want and how they
what the fuck do you want to do in your
lives.
Yeah,
and that's really the question you should be asking. Is that like and in the ending too, you don't see some of the characters like Molius and the Gladiator.
Yes, oh god,
because they chose to be, I wouldn't say bad guys, but they chose to be.
They chose how they wanted to live.
They chose to be disruptive and to cause like negative effects for other people, and because of that, they're not happy and they're not there at the end because they're like just have ruined themselves. And I think that's really an indication as to what this game was trying to get at, is that if you just want to be cool and have like the best sort of intentions for other people, then you're probably gonna be okay.
Yeah, like what the Gladiator dude started an underground blood sport combat ring in the 21st century and was like, I think they just says. I don't think he went to prison. I think he was killed by, another gang or something. My favorite is Malleolus that you hear about. He's the other dude that's running for election that you hear about. Throughout the game, you hear that he has illusions of grandeur. And someone in the auditorium's like, he came to the 21st century and kept on saying he was the true emperor of Rome, and now he's in a psychiatric hospital.
He's totally fucked. And I really think that, like... I really don't know how I feel about Sentius's ending as well, because he was definitely like...
I said his was fucked to his daughter. I was like, that's a little harsh, don't you think?
I really think that it was extremely fucked up what happened to him, that he was the one, like, he paints himself as the good guy at the beginning. Once you find out that he's, like, trapped his daughter, and he knows about the time loops and knows what's going on, like, he's just trying to, like, live forever and be, like, he's, like, the ruler of the city and not trying to change anything. But in the quote-unquote canon good ending, he, like, gets trapped there by himself forever.
And he's just a statue of gold forever, unmoving, but he can look around and think and shit, but he's just a statue. And I was like, that's a little bit harsh, eh?
That's a fate worse than death, truly.
Yeah, my god.
That's like the guy at the ending of Moonfall.
Truly, Moonfall and this game have their dichotomies. They're the same.
Yeah, we are the same.
Moonfall took inspiration from the Forgotten City. Some say the British dork in Moonfall is Sentius.
I wanted to say too that do you think that, this is speculation on my part, but Karen at the end,
yep,
they're like, I guess I'm the ruler of the underworld now. I
Yeah,
can do whatever the
literally.
fuck I want. Do you think that they might do another game in the vein of the Forgotten City where
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think that
I think that's good they're not.
I think it's a fun thought experiment, and if they were to do it, I'd probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I feel like if when this team makes another game, I'd probably have that hanging over my head as to like, is this another simulation? Are we still in space? Are we still on the fucking thing? I don't know what's going on.
Am I still on the Enterprise right now?
Am I still on the holodeck? The underworld god holodeck?
But yeah, I don't think they will do a sequel. I think I bet some people want them to, but I like it better with the no sequel. Let me imagine, like, all those people are living their lives now. I'm back to the real world. I'm doing my thing. That's it. It was a story, and now it happened, and now it's gone. There doesn't need to be a connection to everything, in my opinion.
We didn't talk about a lot of the minutia of this game either. We talked
Hard to get into it. I could talk about this game for a long time.
Every little piece of this game is very impressive, and I can tell that this is a very iterative work. Like the mod came out, and then they improved on the mod by doing a new engine, doing their own thing, using actual real world, history and philosophy and stuff like that in gods, the pantheon of gods. Then in Skyrim, where they just use, I think there was the Dwemer, and they were using
really? Did you ever play the original mod or no?
No, I think I might give it a play in a couple years when
That's interesting.
When I've been like, oh yeah, this has been out, let me play Skyrim again, see what it's about. But they really took all that stuff they worked on and really used it to their advantage to make an amazing game. I'm really excited for the next game that this team makes. I'm going to buy that.
I'll be looking at it, because this is also not a full-priced, triple A in brackets game. It's a good priced game. I think I got it on sale, granted, but it was like, what? You got it for me for $18, or I bought it for $18 or something?
$18. I think regularly when it's on sale, it's $30. And it's
good.
It's one of those games where I'm sure like the modern day hashtag gamers would
You're
be
sure
like,
people are like, it's not 50 hours long?
So I got all the endings of this game and then got another couple achievements. I didn't 100% it, but I got all the endings and I saw what I wanted to see, and it took me like 6 hours, just over 6 hours.
I think I have like 4.5 to 5.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, if you wanted to complete the game, it'd probably be like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about it before. We've talked about it to death, that I'd rather have a shorter experience that actually makes me feel something and I'm going to think about for a long time, rather than playing something that's just like fucking
1,000 hours long of mindless droning gameplay in brackets. Yeah, no. It's a real problem. I hate seeing the argument of like,
$1 an hour.
I fucking hate that argument. I hate the argument just how long is this game? Like, how long is it? I get it for some things, but you really have to take it with a grain of salt with everything.
It's like when I was on Twitter and the guy who made Carrion, that game where you're like a amorphous blob made of flesh, he was looking at Steam reviews, and someone left a Steam review that was like, yeah, the game was good, but there's nothing really else to do once you finish it. And the dev was like, bro, you finished it. You had a good time, and then the game was done, and you thought about it. That's why I made the fucking game, you idiot.
That shit's annoying.
Yeah, kudos to these guys to release a game like this in modern day.
They did what they want. They had a vision. We've said it before, too. They had a vision, and they did it. They didn't add in their glorious loot boxes where you can draw, like, a random weapon for your run.
They had an idea, and they made it for free, and then they thought, we could do this better, and we could provide a good game and a good service to people to get this game out to more and more people to have a discussion about it. And then they did that because they had faith in themselves, and goddamn, I wish that I could do that. You guys are extremely impressive.
Yeah.
And then that's my final thoughts on The Forgotten City. If you've listened to this whole thing and you feel bad that we spoiled it for you or whatever, I would still say on a sale, get it in a few months and play it again. Like, we didn't talk about tons of the tiny stuff that really brings this game together.
Yeah, we didn't talk about probably 80% of the cast that you can talk to. Like, I really like Gorgias or whatever his name is. He's a very jolly fellow. But, yeah, by the time this is up next Monday, we'll be knee-deep in the Steam sale. I'll be wading through discounts. So this game, I guarantee, will be on sale for, probably $18 again.
Get it.
Yeah, get it.
But I'm scared, Dan. This is the time of the month where I'm scared because it's Dan's pick for next time. What are you picking, my friend, for the next episode of Shack Out Back?
Jimbo. I've been feeling like watching a certain movie. I've been feeling like sitting down.
He's gonna pick Moonfall again.
I didn't feel like we got into it enough. It's Moonfall 2. No, it is going to be... I want to talk about both of them, but I want to talk about the original Thing and then the newer Thing.
So, Dan, there's actually 3 Thing movies.
There's 3... Oh, the like, original? Like the...
There's the thing from outer space or something, or the thing
I've never seen that one.
There's the thing from the 50s, the thing from the 80s, and the thing from 2011. Do you want to watch the thing from the 80s and the thing from 2011, or do you want to watch the 50s one too?
I will say, how hard would it be to watch the 50s one? Like, do you have a...
I don't have a copy of it.
You could probably watch it on YouTube for like $3 or something.
The thing from another world.
And it's the same type of idea, because I didn't even know that.
We could probably find a fucking rip of it.
I will say we'll do the Thing trilogy, and we'll briefly touch on the 50s one, just because I bet it's going to be more interesting to talk about the one most people will recognize as The Thing. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to talk about The Thing, because I love that movie.
I have never seen the one from the 50s or the one from 2011.
I vaguely remember the 2011 one, and I bet I'm going to watch it and say, wow, that was dumb.
I think Haley Elizabeth Weinstead, or whoever the fuck her name is, the girl from Scott Pilgrim's in that, right?
I don't fucking know. Scott Pilgrim with his epic sword might be in it. I don't know.
With his... Anyway, I did you know that's Ian's favorite movie, The Thing?
Is his favorite movie.
Yeah.
Huh, I did not know that.
But yeah, this is a movie that I've seen like a million billion times, so I'd be overjoyed to talk about it, and overjoyed to see the prequels to it, the thematic prequel and the actual prequel to it.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. That will be up in about 2.5 weeks. But if you are still listening, thank you so much. Rate us 5 stars on wherever you're listening to a podcast, because we're on literally everywhere now. Follow us on Twitter. Do all that kind of jazz, because we love interacting with people, and I've been tweeting about anime lately.
At CheckOutBackPod.
Yep.
I'm at Popeye Barkin. The other guy's at Dan Sama. All the music is by Lee Jackson. All podcast art and animations by CassieHDesign.com, Brandon Chen on ArtStation, and Dollbox02 on Instagram. Join us next time for The Things. And good night. Dan, take us out. You take us out. I'm tired. I've been working. You take us out.
Jim, I'm going to take us out with a prayer for the state of Arcane Games Redfall.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I really do hope when Redfall comes out it will be good, but I'm really scared because I saw all the different colors of weapons, and I got really, really worried. But they also released a trailer saying you can play solo, but that doesn't make me feel much better, Jim. So, dear God, I hope when it comes out it's good, because I'll be really upset if it's not. That's
Dan,
all.
I have a message here. A message from God. He says, Dan, it's not going to be good. Shut up. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.